How to get a job in the wine industry, coming up next. Hi, I'm Ben Salisbury. I've been in the wine business for almost 40 years, pretty much all on the sales and marketing side. But I get a request for this video a lot, so I decided to sit down and make one so that if you want to get a job in the wine industry, you'll have a good guide to get a good start. If you're serious about getting a job in the wine industry, I highly suggest you subscribe to the podcast from the Napa Valley Wine Academy called Wine, Work, and Passion. It's hosted by my friend and former coworker, Karen Wetzel, who has made a career in sales and marketing and now in education. But she has a series of guests on her podcast that work in all different aspects of the wine industry. And the whole purpose of the podcast is to find out, how did you get your start? What kind of skills do you have? What's your job like day to day? It is just a fantastic podcast. Karen's a great host. Check it out. It'll allow you to survey a wide variety of different types of jobs. In the description of this video, I'll put a link to that podcast. Now, before we get into how to find a job, let's take a few minutes to talk about the different types of jobs that are available in the wine industry. And there's all different kinds of jobs. I'll do my best to cover as many as I can, but honestly, there's so many different ways you could work in the industry. I can't even fit them all in this video. The first thing is becoming a winemaker. I mean, this is what most people who have a passion for wine and want to do it for a living, this is where they gravitate to. Winemakers are part culinarian, part scientist, part chemist, part biologist. It's quite an amalgam of talents. And people come into this job from all different types of things. But making the wine isn't just for the head winemaker. There's a whole team of people that support the production of wine. Assistant winemakers, cellar masters, people to do all kinds of jobs inside the winery operation. So let's just call this whole category, production, headed up by a head winemaker. But that is certainly one of the ways you can work in the industry. Another is a viticulturalist. This has to do with the growing of the grapes, deciding which grapes to grow, understanding how to get the highest quality fruit out of a vineyard. There's a lot to this, a lot to it. And it's a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of people to grow the grapes that are used to make the wine. Another job type is winery tasting room workers. There are tens of thousands of wineries in America right now, and it's a state like Texas has 900 wineries now. Obviously, there's a lot of wineries in California, but almost every state in the country has a winery. And they all need good workers. They need reliable, competent people to work at the winery. These people are working in the tasting room, dealing with the guests, showing hospitality, walking people through the wines at the tasting bar, so they need a good bit of wine knowledge, etc. But this can be an exciting career, and it's a stepping stone to other jobs in the industry. There are a lot of people who have a successful career in the wine industry. This is where they started, working in a tasting room of a winery. Now, another category of jobs is sales and marketing, and there's a lot of different sales and marketing roles. You can work for a distributor. You can work directly for the winery. There's lots of different jobs in the sales side, and in marketing, most of those are at the headquarters or at the winery office. But nowadays, a lot of remote opportunities, especially if you have expertise in digital marketing. There's a lot of opportunities as a marketer in the wine business. And for the really big companies, they're hiring people out of college. They're hiring people from agencies with a classical CPG background. So the whole wine marketing way of making a living is very exciting. It's a very competitive product category. So if you have great expertise in marketing from another industry, you probably could find good work in the wine industry because they need it. And one of the last job types I want to talk about here is a sommelier. Most people have heard of sommelier, someone working in a restaurant or some kind of a hospitality environment where they have studied and gained certifications and have a great deal of expertise in all things having to do with wine, especially recommending wine, serving wine, pairing wine with food. This is an exciting career. A little later in the video, I'm going to talk about where to go to get the knowledge that you need for these various jobs. But for now, I just wanted to do a little flyover of the different types of jobs available. If I've left some out, please make comments in the video below. That will help other viewers, I'm sure. So let's talk about how to get a job, how to find a job in the wine industry. Couple of tips for you. First of all, make sure your LinkedIn profile is complete and up to date. LinkedIn isn't just for unemployed people. It is one of the most powerful business-to-business networking tools available with millions and millions of users. Trust me, all the wine companies in America are on there and around the world. So if you have any hope of getting a job in the wine industry, your LinkedIn profile needs to be as up-to-date as possible. Make sure that your list of interests includes wine and dining and any other kind of related thing, but especially the wine and the wine industry. The second thing is you should start subscribing to and reading trade publications. Go to winebusiness.com, Wine Industry Network. The 750 Daily. You should subscribe to 750 Daily. By the way, I'll put links to all of these places in the description below. But start reading and studying about the wine industry. This is going to help you on a number of levels, especially in that face-to-face interview. You want to be able to demonstrate that you have a passion for the industry and interest in the industry. So do your homework. Plug into some of the trade publications. Start reading every day. This will really help you land your dream job. So where do you find these jobs? Well, the number one place to go is winejobs.com. Talk about a website that's perfectly named. And you can search, when you get there, you can search for all different job types. You can search with keywords. It's just a great tool. And if you look on there, you'll see really, really big companies like Gallo and Constellation, and you'll see really small companies. You'll also see wineries, wine companies, but you'll also see distributors and importers, and really just any kind of wine job is listed there. And another great resource is bevforce.com, which is part of the bigger company called Force Brands. But I'll put links to both of these resources in the description below. You should not have any trouble finding the job listings using these two great resources. Now, those are just the ones that are dedicated to the wine industry, but you can also go to classic, sites like Monster, Indeed, Glassdoor, etc., and look for wine jobs there. A lot of people will also list them there. And speaking of that, when you use Indeed or one of these services, you're able to set up a profile for yourself so the people who are looking for workers can do a search on you as well. So that's just like I said with LinkedIn. You want your profile to be up to date because people are going to be checking you out. You want to make sure you're registered on these sites so that you've got a presence there. That's going to really help too. Now, I promised to talk about where to go to get the knowledge and training you might need in some of these jobs. So let's start with the winemaker and the viticulture job. If you want to grow grapes or make wine or any aspect of that, it's really good to go to school for that. Now, there are a lot more schools available than there used to be. For a long time, it was all about University of California at Davis, which is still one of the best places to go. But not everyone lives on the West Coast or can afford that. They're literally all over the place. Google will help you search. But I've got a few of the top places to go to learn to be a winemaker or a viticulturalist. And what you want to search for is enology, which will put a spelling of that up on the screen, and viticulture. Enology and viticulture, that's what you want to search for when you're looking for colleges and universities that have degree programs on this topic. But some of the top ones are Cornell University, Texas A&M. I mentioned University of California at Davis. Michigan State has a great program. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo is a very popular program. Washington State University has a great program. Fresno State. And in Texas, there's a fantastic school just north of Dallas called Grayson College in Denison, Texas. They have a fantastic enology and viticulture program. So they're all over the place in almost every corner of the U.S. Just do a little research. Take a look at, they have 2-year programs, 4-year programs, certifications. You're going to really benefit from a good bit of research. Let's talk about where to go to get wine knowledge training, which is really essential if you're going to make a career in the wine business. How high you go and how many certifications you get will depend on the job. But a lot of times you just need a good, solid foundational knowledge of wine. And there are lots of people who knew absolutely nothing about wine when they started in this industry. And they started by taking courses at these places. So let's talk about the first one, which is the Wine and Spirits Education Trust. We'll put links in the description to go to the WSET, but this is one of the most widely used worldwide programs for learning about wine. And you get these certifications, you put those certifications on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. It really does help get a job in the business. I mentioned the Napa Valley Wine Academy has an amazing program. There's also, for those of you who want to become sommeliers, working in a restaurant, serving great wine, purchasing wine, curating a great wine list. There's basically, the primary path is the Court of Master Sommeliers. Again, we'll put a link in the description for you to go check out the Court of Master Sommeliers. But they too have different levels of certification, culminating in Master Sommelier, which is, my hat is off to the people who can do that. It's not easy. These are gifted people who worked really, really hard. But even along the way to becoming a master sommelier, there's a lot of certifications you can get that will help you as you search for jobs in the wine industry. So check out these resources in the links below. And I would also love it if you have other resources that I haven't mentioned or that you would like to mention, add those to the comments below. It will help all of the viewers. So that was just a quick rundown on the different types of jobs, where to get training, where to go look for a job. If you have questions, I am happy to answer them. You just put them in the comments below. I check these all the time and I will answer right away and help you in any way I can. You know, nowadays there's so many more types of jobs in the wine industry than ever before, especially because of the technology, all the investment in technology that's coming into the industry, all of the things happening with social media and digital advertising. So it really doesn't matter what your background is, whether you've worked in the industry before. If you have a passion for wine, there's a job in the industry for you. And I hope this video has helped you along on that journey. Thanks for watching. Share this with someone that you know who's trying to get a job in the wine industry. Thank you.